The morning sun streams through the glass walls of a nearly empty airport terminal, casting long shadows across the polished floors. Once, this space would have been alive with the energy of travelers, families reuniting, business people rushing to their gates, and the constant buzz of announcements echoing overhead. Now, the silence is almost deafening, broken only by the occasional distant sound. Where there was once a constant hum of travelers, now, there's only silence and a lone security guard's echoing footsteps. The emptiness is striking, a stark reminder of how quickly things can change. The guard's routine patrol feels almost ceremonial, a symbol of resilience in the face of uncertainty. Departure boards, once filled with a dizzying array of destinations and departure times, now show mostly canceled flights. Rows of red letters tell the story of an industry brought to a standstill. This is the new normal for many American airports, where uncertainty has replaced anticipation. The decline in passengers is stark, with once busy hubs now facing empty gates and deserted food courts. Restaurants and shops that once bustled with activity now sit closed, their lights dimmed, waiting for a return to better days. Airlines are grounding planes, cutting routes, and leaving cities with fewer connections. Rows of aircraft sit idle on the tarmac, their engines silent, as airlines struggle to adapt to a world where demand has plummeted almost overnight. The ripple effect is severe: lost revenue, vanishing jobs, and local economies feeling the pinch. Airport workers, from baggage handlers to shopkeepers, face an uncertain future as the industry contracts. The impact stretches far beyond the terminal walls, affecting entire communities that rely on air travel. This quiet terminal isn't just a slow morning, it's a snapshot of an industry in retreat, shaped by economic shifts and changing travel habits. The empty check-in counters and vacant waiting areas are a testament to how deeply these changes have taken hold. Understanding why airports are empty is key to grasping the challenges facing American travel and the millions who depend on it. As we look closer, we'll uncover the forces at play and what the future might hold for an industry at a crossroads. The most visible sign of change is airlines slashing routes or leaving cities altogether. Spirit Airlines, for example, recently pulled out of 11 U.S. cities, including major hubs like San Diego and Las Vegas, as part of a bankruptcy restructuring. For these communities, Spirit's exit means fewer flights, higher prices, and reduced connectivity. This isn't just Spirit. Airlines across the board are cutting unprofitable routes, especially to smaller or less competitive markets. The result? New flyover regions, harder and more expensive to reach. Airlines are businesses, they can't afford to fly empty planes. These tough choices leave entire communities with diminished access to the skies. Airline cutbacks are a symptom of a much bigger problem facing the U.S. travel industry. The once bustling airports and crowded terminals now tell a different story, one of empty seats and grounded planes. This is not just about fewer flights, it's about a sharp and sustained drop in tourism to the United States, a trend that's sending shockwaves through the entire economy. International arrivals have plummeted, leaving airport arrival halls eerily quiet. The U.S. is seeing far fewer visitors from abroad than in previous years, and the effects are visible everywhere you look. One major reason is the strong U.S. dollar, which makes everything from hotels to meals and attractions much more expensive for foreign travelers. For many, a trip to America is simply out of reach financially. But it's not just the cost. Complex visa requirements, lengthy application processes, and a perception that the U.S. is less welcoming than before are discouraging even more potential visitors. Frustration at embassies and airport checkpoints is now a common experience. Meanwhile, domestic travel patterns are shifting as well. More Americans are choosing to drive rather than fly, opting for road trips to avoid airport hassles, security delays, and the uncertainty of flight cancellations. According to AIA, a staggering 90% of long-distance holiday travelers now prefer to hit the road. This marks a significant change in how Americans vacation, with families packing up their cars and exploring destinations closer to home. As a result, airlines are seeing fewer passengers, especially on short-haul and regional routes. Planes that once flew full are now half empty, and some routes are being cut altogether. The impact doesn't stop at the airport. Hotels, restaurants, and tourist attractions are all feeling the pinch, with fewer customers and declining revenues. This threatens millions of jobs in the tourism and hospitality sectors. For cities that rely heavily on tourism, the slowdown is especially painful. Iconic destinations that once bustled with visitors are now struggling to fill hotel rooms and keep businesses open. Empty airports and shuttered shops are just the first signs. When planes stop arriving, the ripple effects are felt throughout local economies, from taxi drivers to souvenir vendors. The U.S. tourism slump is reshaping the entire travel ecosystem, forcing businesses and workers to adapt to a new reality, one where the future of travel remains uncertain. For travelers, fewer flights mean fewer choices and higher prices. Losing a budget airline like Spirit removes competition, making flying less affordable, especially for those in smaller cities. Direct flights disappear, replaced by long layovers or drives to distant airports. The network's fragility grows. A single cancellation can leave passengers stranded for a day or more. Unexpected costs and stress mount as rebooking becomes harder. Frustration is rising, with social media full of stories about delays and poor service. Many are turning to driving or traveling less, fueling the cycle of declining demand. The shrinking air network is isolating communities and eroding public confidence in flying. On top of service cuts, travelers face frequent airline tech meltdowns. A recent American Airlines system failure grounded flights nationwide, causing chaos on one of the busiest travel days. Thousands of delays and cancellations rippled across the country, stranding passengers and ruining plans. These aren't isolated incidents. Major outages at Southwest and Delta have exposed the industry's aging, fragile IT systems. When technology fails, trust in air travel collapses. Passengers expect reliability, but repeated glitches make flying feel like a gamble. The result? More anxiety, more people choosing to drive, and a growing sense that airlines can't deliver on basic promises. Each meltdown pushes travelers further away from the skies. In the world of aviation, when one airline pulls back, it creates a vacuum, and competitors are quick to fill the gap. The skies are never empty for long. As soon as a major player retreats, rival airlines see a golden opportunity to expand their own reach and capture new customers. After Spirit Airlines abruptly exited 11 cities, United and Frontier wasted no time. They swooped in, launching new routes and increasing flight frequencies, all in hopes of attracting passengers left stranded by Spirit's sudden departure. For these airlines, it's a chance to grow their networks and strengthen their presence in key markets. This rapid response is a textbook example of an airline turf war. Passengers may notice a flurry of promotional fares, more flight options, and aggressive marketing campaigns. But while the competition heats up, the long-term benefits for travelers remain uncertain. These fare wars can be short-lived, and the extra choices may disappear as quickly as they arrived. Spirit, meanwhile, accuses its rivals of using predatory tactics, flooding the newly vacated routes with flights, sometimes at unsustainable prices, to drive out any remaining competition. Once they dominate the market, critics warn, these airlines could quietly raise fares, leaving travelers with fewer options and higher costs. For travelers, the sudden boost in available flights and lower prices can feel like a win. But this period of abundance may be temporary. If rivals succeed in pushing out competition, the variety and affordability of flights could shrink. As the market consolidates, fewer airlines could mean longer lines, higher fares, and less flexibility for passengers. The choices that seem plentiful today might become scarce tomorrow. The airline industry is in a state of flux, with every move shaping the future of U.S. air travel. Decisions made now will ripple through the industry for years, affecting everything from ticket prices to the number of destinations served. The battle for market share is fierce, and while airlines fight for dominance, it's the passengers who will ultimately feel the impact, both good and bad, of these high-stakes maneuvers. The future of U.S. travel is changing fast. Expect higher costs, fewer direct flights, and more driving as airlines focus on profits over network size. Smaller cities may lose service, forcing travelers to drive farther or pay more. Airline consolidation will likely continue, reducing competition and options. Passengers must adapt, book early, stay flexible, and consider alternative airports or modes of transport. The classic American road trip is making a comeback, reshaping holiday patterns and boosting local tourism. The industry will eventually stabilize, but for now, travelers face a turbulent journey. The quiet terminal is a warning. Getting from place to place in America is no longer as simple or as certain as it once was.